Hi guys, hi, good evening everyone. So let's see who all have joined today. I'll just go to the comment section. I'll see. Okay, so Kirtika there, Avinash there. So hi Kirtika, hi Avinash, hi Adarsh, Rohit. Okay, one more Rohit, different Rohit. Hi both Rohit and Latia. Hi Adarsh again. So I think like some few more people would join. So meanwhile, what I'll do, I'll just quickly mention what all we have learned till this point of time. So, guys, we started our discussion from the basics of Java, like how it came up and all. We learned the basic syntax of Java programming language just to print something, right? Okay. Then we went on to like learn OOPS concept, class and object. We learned what is class, what is object, and we then created a class in Java and we created object. Through that object. We have done some simple problems or some simple programs we have done, right? Okay. Then we went down to understand the static and non-static concept, static variables, non-static variables, static method, non-static method, how to work on them, what is the difference between them. We discussed. Then we discussed packages, built-in packages, user-defined packages, and how to use classes from non-default packages. We also have learned that, right? Okay. Then we came down to access modifiers. We discussed about various access modifiers, and we also have seen how these private members cannot be accessed directly in different class. So we have that getters and setters method. We have seen an example through which we indirectly use them, right? I see some more people have also joined. So hi Arun, hi Ganesh, hi Atul, Harshavardhini, and okay, Kirtika, hi. Yeah, good evening. So, Harshavardhini, you can find assignment and material both in the community group. Okay, in the video description, you can check out. There is something called like, a community group. You can check out that group and you can join, and you will find like day one, day two, day three materials, and also have given to assignment as per whatever we have covered till this point of time. You can get there. Okay, so this assignment, do really work on that, guys. That would like be a practice question, and it would actually add to your understanding of the concept as far as we whatever we have actually discussed. Okay, right? Arun, I'm very sorry, we'll not get into that part, but yes, we will use this exception handling while we discuss this. What is that? Connecting Java to the database. Okay, we'll use it. In brief, I'll make you understand, I'll explain the exception handling part. But to be very honest, we'll not be deep diving into the exception handling concept. Okay, but I'll give you a brief idea, and we will use also in our code there this exception handling. So you'll get to know how exactly exception handling works and how we can handle the exceptions. Okay, I'll what is exception, how to handle, and all that. Let's keep it for the next class, that is tomorrow, guys. We'll do tomorrow that part, like when we actually connect Java to database, we will do that. Okay, we'll discuss this exception handling. Also, we'll use that in the code itself, so that it would be a more kind of like practical experience for you how to use the exception handling concept. Fine then. So now we are at here, guys. Like we have completed up to access modifiers, and we know the private members and all the getters and setters method and all. Today, as I said already, we'll be discussing some interview questions, right? And for those questions, we'll also discuss some concept. Also, I'm reiterating, guys. Tomorrow it is will connect Java to database. It's kind of a project session tomorrow. That thing, guys. If you understand that part, you can also like use it as a minor project in your college. Okay, if you belong to sixth semester or something, I think you have to submit some minor project in your college, right? So you can also take that part and maybe add something, some more thing, and not many thing, but it's some few more thing you can add to it, and you can like submit it as a minor project actually. Okay, right? Yep, Dinesh, completely it is possible. I have seen people, they have done like great in IT field, but they don't belong to the IT background initially. My friend, he's from a mechanical background and he is developing games now. Okay, right? Developing games right now. He's actually into like you can say uh, some VR industry is into right now. Okay, guys. So now let's start this session. So as I said, we will discuss about the interview question. And one more thing, guys. This is important announcement actually. Not in more important. Yeah, important announcement. And also I need to discuss this with you. So please tell me, guys. Can we do tomorrow's session in the morning at any point? Like maybe 11. Can we do it? Can we do it, guys? Tomorrow session, the project session, which is actually connecting Java to the database, will connect Java to MySQL and see how it is working actually. Can we do that session at 11 in the morning tomorrow? Please let me know, guys. 11 or like 10:30 is also fine with me. Yes, Kirtika. Just remember, like, make sure you tag me, Kirtika. Otherwise, I'll not get the notification. Okay. When you tag me, I'll get mail notification and all. Yes. How many of you say yes, guys? Can we do at 11 the class at 11? Yes. Okay. I think it is better if I just create a poll. Huh? Okay. Can we keep project session tomorrow at 11 a.m.? I'll see like how much. Oh, Arun, tomorrow Saturday you have. Oh, no, sorry. Tomorrow is not Saturday, right? Tomorrow is Friday, I guess. Yep, tomorrow is Friday. Okay. Yep, Dinesh, yes, fine, absolutely. You can get it. Okay, let me just check how many of you are like responding to this. What is the amount of percentage? Like, what amount of people are fine with the class if we keep at 11, and how many of you are not comfortable with that? Let's just see. Just please fill up the poll. It's an exam time. Oh, you have exams, Fiza? Okay. So can we like do at some other point time? Maybe we can prepone a bit or something. If you want me to prepone, not at this 7:30. Can we do it at like let's say 6 or not 6, 5:30? Can we do it? 5:30, 5:30 p.m. Let me change the question. Okay. Yeah, understood, Latia. I'm changing the time. Let's keep it in the evening, but I'm just like trying to prepone a bit. I got something urgent actually tomorrow, and so I'm not pretty much sure if I can take 7:30 tomorrow. So can we keep tomorrow 5:30? 5:30, okay with 5:30? Everyone, is it fine? No, let's not drag it to Sunday, Rampal. Tomorrow is just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So like almost all of you would like forget about the Java session if I drag it to Sunday, if I don't keep this 2 day classes in between. So 5:30, 5:30 tomorrow. Just answer the poll, guys. Like I'll have a clear number actually. There are 35 people watching the class right now. Please just give me some responses so that I can accordingly I can work it out. 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. I'm just preponing it by 2 hours so that it won't affect your college times and all. I hope like no one has class with at 5:30 p.m. So can we do only 1 hour, guys? Only 1 hour, 5:30 to 6:30. That's the thing. Or maybe I can take up to like 6:40 or something, but that's the maximum I'll take. Nothing more than that. Okay, everyone. Have everyone given the response to the poll? Okay, there are some people yet to give response, I guess. Fine. Okay. Yeah, I think everyone is happy with 5:30. So let's go with 5:30 only, guys. So let's do 5:30 tomorrow. 5:30 p.m. We'll do 5:30 p.m. tomorrow session. That is project session. So yeah, like almost everyone is fine with 5:30 p.m. class. So let's do 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. We'll learn this project, the mini project where we'll connect Java database. Also with that, we'll also learn this exception handling because we'll use that. Now guys, let's focus in our today's discussion. So the first question which I want to ask to you is, Why do you think, who can say here why main method is written as public static void main? Also, is it like fixed? Is it only I can write public static void main? Can I write static public void main? Two things. Okay, just answer me this. Can I write static public void main? Yes or no? Tell me. Can we write static public void main instead of public static void main? Yes or no? Ganesh says yes, we can. What about others? Can we write static public void main? Can we write static public void main instead of public static void main? So everyone is saying yes. Oh, I have said it, or no? Okay, I don't remember. I've said this. Okay, fine. Anyway, yes, we can write it. We can write static public void main instead of public static void main. Both are actually fine. Yeah, exactly. Ganesh, sequence doesn't matter actually. You can write public static or you can write static public, but don't change the position of void. Void should be there because it is a return type of the main method. Okay, right? Now, why it is public static void main? That's the question actually here. So let me just share a screen with you. Like basically I'll share the VS code, guys. Just give me a moment. Meanwhile, if anyone can answer over the comment why we write public static void main, why main method is public static and void, you just mention in the comment. Meanwhile, I'm sharing this VS code screen with you all. Yeah, I hope it should be visible to you all right now, because I have shared. Okay, now why it is public static void main? Why it is public static void main? Why we write public static void main? Why don't we write only main? Why don't we only write void main? Right? Why it is public static? So who can say why it is void? First of all, why it is void? So I'll create here one more file, that is day4.java, because all of the discussion of today's session I'll write it here. I don't need this as of now. So first thing which we are discussing is why main is public static void, or why public static void main. So why is it void? Who can say? Okay, I haven't yet get any answer. I haven't got any answer yet. Fine, I'll tell. I'll say here, guys, why it is void. I'll tell you. Void. See, void is a data type. You can say one of the data type. But here, when you write with the main function, void main, it is basically return type of main method. Main function or main method doesn't return anything, guys. That's why return type should be void. If a function doesn't return anything, then the return type should be void. That's why main method is void, because main method doesn't return anything. So return type is void. Yeah, exactly. Lathia, you are correct. Yep. Nothing to return. It doesn't return anything. That's why return type is void. What about this public and static? You can write public static or you can write static public. Doesn't matter. The order, the sequence doesn't matter here. But why do we write public static? Void we understood. Yes, main method doesn't return anything. But what about this public and static? Let's talk about this public first. Let's understand why it is public. Okay. See, guys, it like to understand this, you would need to combine all the things which we have discussed so far. Actually, okay. That is why I have kept this question till this session. I haven't discussed yet. Right. Okay. See this. So, who can say we all know that main method is the entry point of a program. Main function or main method is the point where program execution starts, right? And main method calls every other method. If you have multiple, like if you have, let's say, 2 3 methods in your program, 2 3 functions in your program, main function calls those other functions, and from main method you call those other method that gets invoked, right? But as we know that main method is the entry point of a program, that is where the execution starts. So obviously main method, it is also, main is also a function, right? It is also a method. So someone might be calling it. Who is that? Who is calling main? Who can say? Who can answer this? Who can answer this? Let me see who is able to answer this. Who is calling main method over here? In, you can answer also me, guys. Like, you can also answer me in C. Who calls in C or C++? Who calls main function? Because that is where program execution starts. We all know that is the entry point to a program. But who calls main function? Jane says OS, operating system. Okay, operating system in what? C++, C, or Java? Of what you are saying basically, Jane? Sahija says JVM. Okay. See, guys, yep. In C, C++, it is actually operating system who calls main function. Okay, and the program execution starts, right? Okay, and to be very specific, there is something called kernel, which is the core part of the operating system, that calls the main function. But in Java, operating system doesn't call the main method. It is JVM, Java Virtual Machine. No, not compiler. Compiler doesn't call. Compiler only compiles the code and checks for the errors. Actually, JVM is the one who calls the main method and starts the execution. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. Okay, it is like responsible for the code verification, loading the code, execution of the code, and also providing JRE, guys. Okay, so that your code can be executed successfully. JRE means Java Runtime Environment. It is some kind of environment in which Java programs can run. That is your JRE. So this all things is done by JVM. Actually, JVM, it verifies the code, it loads the code for execution, it provides JRE, and also it executes. So this is the task of JVM. So this JVM, guys, it's a virtual machine. It's not a physical machine. It is a virtual machine. When you install Java in your system, this JVM comes along with that. That executes, that calls the main function and starts the execution of the program. So it is JVM, okay, who calls the main method in Java. So guys, here one important point we need to take care of is, so obviously this JVM is present in some package of OS, in some different package, maybe some package of OS it is present there, right? So JVM is actually calling main function or main method. So in this main method, where it is, you have written the program. This main method is present in some other package, a different package of your, which you might have created or something. If you remember the employee program, in that employee program we had created a package EMP. Inside that, this employee dot class file was created, and inside that the main method was present. So now main method is present in a different package which you have created, right? Okay, so even, so that is the point. JVM is present in some other package. It may be present in some OS package of some OS, right? So from there, JVM is actually calling the main method, right? Okay, got it, guys? And up to this point, is it clear? Up to this point, JVM basically is calling main method of your class from outside the current package, because JVM is present somewhere else in some other package of OS, and your main method is present in some other package. You might have created the package, or maybe some obviously package of JVM and package of your code would be different, obviously, right? That is what we everyone understand that this part. Other E is enterprise edition. There are different edition in Java actually, like Java SE standard edition, the core Java part. E enterprise edition, that we like advanced Java we say normally. Okay, so there are different versions. Then there is like I think Java FX is also there, right? What is JDK? It stands for Java Development Kit. It has all the development tools of Java which you can use to develop Java applications actually. When you install JDK, it comes along this JVM and JRE comes. JVM is installed in your system. JVM is something which provides JRE actually. Okay, right? So JVM, Java Virtual Machine. It's a virtual machine, guys. And JRE is just an environment where Java application can run successfully. That's it. So you can think of it's a proper, and it provides, JRE is a proper environment so that a Java application can run. It's like you cannot just sit and study in the middle of a road, right? you need a proper environment, maybe in a room, in a library, in a classroom, or somewhere in a calm and peace place you have to study, right? So you cannot just sit on the middle of the road and start studying. That doesn't happen, right? Similarly, for Java application to run, there should be a proper environment. That environment is JRE, Java Runtime Environment. Java Runtime Environment. For running of the Java application, this environment is necessary, and this JRE is actually provided by JVM. JVM is what? Java Virtual Machine. It is actually a machine, but it is a virtual machine which is running on your system and which is actually carrying out the operation. It is executing the program, Java programs, and all. Okay, so one thing is pretty much clear. JVM is actually calling your main method, and both of them are present in different packages. Yeah, Mrinjan, we don't have like specific front end developer. We have entire like complete full stack course we have. Okay, so you can learn everything. Why to stop at only front end development? Okay, why not learn everything? And not only that, you learn the like entire full stack development, web development, full stack development, Mern, Vue, TypeScript, Next, types, Bootstrap, everything you learn. Okay, starting from HTML, CSS till you learn TypeScript, Next, entire Mern, TypeScript, Next, everything you learn. Along with that, we also learn AIML, data science. You also learn Python and Django. Also, you learn data structure and algorithm. Also learn system design. Also learn cloud computing, AWS, the deployment part and all, right? Also, you get to know you like how to prepare your resume and all, get mock interviews and all. Also, like on the top of it, get placement. Why not do that? Why don't we do that? And only like for all of this, only one price, that is 25,600. I already have announced so many times to all of you, so you can also check out, guys. So what I would suggest is you just fill up this form. Anyone, if anyone here is interested to know more about the courses, the features of the courses, what all it provides, and there are many features, guys. As I've already mentioned, you can like all the classes would be live, so you have upper hand with the trainer. Like you can stop the trainer, ask there itself what is the doubt and all. So exact classroom feeling would be there. Even if you don't attend live, let's say you are not able to attend live, you can also watch recorded and also schedule a doubt clearing session with the instructor one to one. So all sort of features are there. If you are interested, if you want to know more details, guys, please fill up form here. And also, guys, we are coming up with like a Java program next month. So if anyone wants to like enroll into this Java full stack, you can also like fill the same form, and we would like reach out to you. First of all, we would like clarify all your like doubts, and you will give you proper information. Then it is up to you. You make decision, you take decision. It is always good to take informed decision. I always say this, guys. Okay, always say this. Yep, everything at one price every course. Okay, and also placement. But for placement, we ask for one thing: you attend all the like courses and you submit all the assignment. There will be like 15 plus project we'll be doing, guys. Also one more client side project, a real project which would go to a proper client. You would be working on that. So all this we actually provide with just a simple price, like with a very affordable price, 25,600. That too, you can pay in no cost EMIs over 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, everything. You might compare it with other edtech platform. It is way more cheaper, guys. And yes, we will run behind you till you get placed. Yeah, Java we are coming up with next month, Sumit. So you can fill it up so that we can like reach out to you when we launch finally. Next month we are coming up with the Java full stack course. These are PGP course, guys. You'll get post graduation certificate actually. Okay. Now, coming to our point where we were discussing about this main method. JVM is actually calling main method, and both of them are present in different packages. So, guys, if someone is calling a member from a different package from outside the package, so if main method is private, can you call that from outside the package? Just answer me. If main method is private, obviously you cannot call it from outside the package. Next, if it is a default, can you call it from outside the package? Obviously not, right? We already have discussed that a default member cannot be called from outside the package, right? Then protected. Can you call a protected member from outside the package? Answer is yes, we can call, but for that, the calling member should be like this calling class should be child class of this class, the existing class, right? This is what we have discussed. So here the child class thing doesn't fit well, because JVM is already present there. It was there already. It is pre-installed, right? And this program you have just now written. You have written this program. You have created this program. How come JVM would be like child class of your class, which you have just created now? So there is absolutely no point of this inheritance, no possibility of inheritance being established between these two. So there is no point of inheritance. So obviously, even if you make main protected, it cannot be accessed. The only option left out is public, because public, if you keep public, if you make public, we can access it from anywhere. Anyone can access. That's why main method is kept public, guys, so that JVM can call it from a different package. Okay, understood this? Why main is kept public? If you don't keep main as public, then JVM won't be able to call it and your program will not run. Okay, that's why it will not identify. Actually, if you don't keep it public, it will not identify your main method. The only main method it identifies is public static void main, and along with that command line. Okay, right? So this is the thing, guys. So we understood why it is kept public, because JVM has to call it from outside the package. Obviously outside the package, so it needs to be public. Main method should be public. That's why it is public. Let's come to the static. Now we know that JVM is calling our main method from outside the package. That is why it is known as public. Second thing, let's understand this. So guys, is there only one main method? No, right? Okay, there can be many main method. You write a class, you write, let's say you write 3 classes. In all the 3 classes there might be main method, right? So JVM will call main method, but which one? You want to run a specific program, right? How does it call a specific main method? How does it call a specific main method of a specific class? Because it needs to, like, we need to run a particular program. We don't want to call like any random main method. Let's say you have class A, B, and C. All these classes have main method. Obviously, like you can say these are contained in different files, obviously, because in one file there should be only one class with main method. You can have n number of classes, but only one class should have main method. So let's consider we have 3 classes in 3 different files. Now we need to run this B class program. So JVM should call main method of B class, right? So because every class has this main method, so JVM uses the class name, guys. It uses class name to differentiate between main method of different classes. So it calls main method through class name to execute a particular program. Okay, and I guess we already have discussed. I think no, we haven't discussed this part. I'll tell this part. See, guys, whenever you are calling something, if you want to call something by class name, then you need to keep it static. Okay, I'll give you an example here, but remember this now. Whenever you want to call a member by class name, then it should be kept static. Please understand this. Okay, right? So if I like talk about the previous day program, okay, the simple program which we discussed later, finally this one. See, guys, if I take here a static member, okay, static, maybe I'll go with a static method. Let's say if I have here a static method, static, maybe void show, and how about I copy this code and write in the day4.java file, so that when I share this code, you will also get it. Okay, otherwise you will miss out this part of code. So I'm copying this part, and I would write it in the day 4 file, not in the day 3 file. I'm closing it. Okay, see here. So here I'm actually defining a static method called show, whose task is to just print the data. Obviously, we already have discussed static method can access only static member, and here if you see guys, we don't have any static member here. It is a non-static member. So let's create a static member, some random static member. Let's create. So static int x, let's say. Okay, right? Static int x. Now that is not a private member, guys. So you can definitely access x and you can store some value there. Not an issue, because x is not a private member, it is a default member. So you can access it from a different class as long as you're in the same package. So I am in the same package, so I can access x. So I'm storing here this 20 in x, and I can just call this what is that, show method, which will print me the value of x, right? Remember, static method can only access a static member. That's what I'm doing here. Now let's call this show method. So how do we call this show method? How do we call? So it's simple. We know through method, through object we actually call, right? So let's see this. Let's run this code and let's see for ourselves how it is actually working. Will it give us the result? Is it fine? Let's compile this and let's check. So I think first of all, we need to get into the file. So cd, let's get into the folder first. Cd, it is batch 4. Okay, so java c, java compiler, it is day 4, right? Day 4.java. I hope there is no error, but let's see, let's check. Yeah, that's no error. Let's run this code. So what is the name of the class? Test, I guess I have taken. No, get employee I have taken. Get employee. Yeah, let's take get employee. If I hit enter, so I think yeah, it is asking me to enter the employee ID. So maybe 101 I'll take. And see guys, I'm getting employee ID as 101, and this data 20 I'm getting. So this data guys is x. Basically, it is printing me the value of x, and this x is actually a static variable, right? So why I am repeating this stuff? Because I want to also tell you a different point here. When a member is static, guys, you don't have to call it through object name. It's a class variable, and you can call it by class name, because for the entire class, if only one copy is created, it is same for all the object. Similarly here, this method show, it is a class method, so you can call it through class name. So when you can call a member through class name, guys, when the member is static. If you want to call a member through class name, then it must be static, because static members are called as class members, class level members. Class method or static method, class variable, because for the entire class it is one, right? Okay. So here now we understood, we have discussed that JVM is actually calling main method through class name in order to distinguish, in order to differentiate between all other main method. So if JVM is calling main method through class name, then obviously main method should be, it must be static, otherwise it won't be possible to call it through class name. So that's the reason behind main method being public static void main. Why void? Because it is return type. Main method doesn't return anything, that is why return type is void. Why public? Because JVM calls main method from outside the current package, some other package. For that, main method needs to be public. Third, why it is static? In order to differentiate between all other main method, JVM calls the main method through class name to, in order to execute a particular main method. So if JVM calls main method through class name, then in order to make it possible, main method should be static, because static members can only be called through class names. Okay, right? You don't write x equal to 20, because you are in a different class now. Okay, if you write just x, then who's x? What is x? You are in a different class. See, X is a member of employee class, but you are in get employee class. So at least you should mention whose member is that. So it would give you error, guys. So you should either you write e dot x equal to 20 or you write employee dot x equal to 20. It is only possible to write employee dot x because x is static member. It is only possible to write employee dot show because show is static method of employee class. That's the whole point here. Is it clear, guys, why main method is public, static, and void? Please let me know over the comment. Is it clear why main method is public, static, void? It's a very classic question actually. Sometimes they ask in the interviews, guys. You should know this. Clear? 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 Is it clear? Please let me know. Let me know, guys. Let me know over the comment. Is it clear why main is public, static, and void? The next thing which I want to discuss. Next thing which I want to discuss is command line argument. I had told you I'll discuss this, so I am doing that. Command line argument. So what exactly is command line argument? So we already have seen, guys, in the main method. The main method is actually this. The signature is this for main method, public static void main, and there is something called string args, right? Okay, so this command line argument means if main method is taking argument, the argument that is being sent to main method, that is called command line argument, because from command line you are basically are going to pass that argument. See, for all other method you would pass argument from main method. Main method will call all other method, and while calling it you will pass the argument, right? Let's say you have some method, let's say you have some method called add. So in main method you will call the add method, and while calling add method you may pass a and b, so that this a value and b value will be passed to add method. So you're calling in the main function, you're calling in the main function this add method. While calling add method you're passing argument, but to main method you will pass the argument from the command line, guys. While executing the code, while you write the command to execute the code, there you will pass the argument. Very quickly I'll show you guys how we actually work on command line argument. Let's do a very simple program. Okay, for this command line argument, let's understand how command line argument is like works, right? Let's see this. So I have a class, let's say class test, and I have this main method. Very simple program. I'll just show you how we work with command line argument, right? Okay, for the time being, whatever I'm writing, just like follow me, guys. I'll explain in a while what I'm doing here. Okay, right, let me save this code, and everything will fall in place, guys. Just give me a moment. I'll explain what I'm trying to do here. So let me first, yeah, so let me first execute this Java C. Let me compile this first. Java C, what is the file name? day4.java. Day4.java. I hope there is no error. No error, guys. Java test. Yeah. So I'm getting here exception, some kind of exception. This is something which I think Atul or Arun was mentioning about what is the exception handling and all. So the guys, this is actually kind of exception. We are getting some array index out of bound exception, which we will talk about in the next session, that is tomorrow 5:30 p.m. But now let's like ignore this exception. I'll show you guys. See, so this is the command which we write to execute the code. This command starts the execution. While writing this command, okay, this command starts execution. That means it invokes your JVM and it invokes your main method, right? So while writing this command, if I pass here some argument, let's say I'll pass Arun's name, Arun. This is the command line argument, guys. From command line, you are passing argument to a method. Which method? Main method. And when you hit enter, I'm getting here hi Arun. Why I got hi Arun? Because if you see the code, what I have done is I printed hi, then I printed args of 0, the first argument which you receive. That I am getting it here, guys. Okay, let's say you want to you want to take two people name and you want to print it, so that also can be done, right? Let's say I'll print here two names. So next element would be stored in the next index. This is an array of strings, guys. Args would give you the first element, args of 1 will give you second element. It's just like an array. That's it. String. It is only thing is like it is array of strings. That's it. Nothing else. So let me save this code. I'll recompile this code. Java C day4.java. Okay. There is some error that is okay. This name is args and not arg. That's what is the mistake I have done. Args. So let me save it once again. Let me recompile this code. Java C day4.java. Okay, still there is some error. Let me fix it. What is the error? Oh, I have missed out curly braces. And now let me recompile this code. Java C day4.java. Now Java test. I'll pass here. Okay, first let's say Arun I'll pass, and then one more name I'll take here, maybe Atul. Okay, Atul. So I should get here hi Arun space Atul, because I'm printing here args of 0. Args of 0 means the first argument which you have sent, that is Arun, and the second argument is Atul, that is being sent to this array of string. So that is stored in args of 1. So this is how you work with command line argument, guys. This is known as command line argument because from command line you are sending argument to a method, and that is main method. For all other method, main method while calling those method passes argument, but here you are passing argument to main method itself from command line. That's why it is known as command line argument, and this is how you work with command line argument. Is it clear, guys? The command line argument part, is it clear to you? Command line argument, how you basically work with command line argument. So that's a very simple question I can ask you guys, that you can take as an assignment for today's session. That is uh, take two command line argument. Okay, take two integers actually as command line argument, and you need to print addition of those two values. Okay, let me give you some information before you actually try it as an assignment. Always whenever you send command line argument, that is being sent as string, guys. So even if you pass 20 and 30, it would be passed as string 20 and 30, right? So the question now is, take two values from command line argument and print its addition. So obviously if I'm saying addition, then that must be meaning to integers. But the thing I said is, when you take argument from command line, that is passed as string. So just think about it, just work around it, and do this assignment. Okay, right? Addition of two values, but the two values will take from command line argument as command line argument. Just work on that. Okay, right? Anyway, I'll also post it in the community. You can also check it out later after the session. I'll post this assignment in the community, guys. Okay, so the question is very simple. You have to like pass two values from command line argument, and you have to print the sum of those two values. Work on it later. Right now I'll continue with my discussion. So this is command line argument. We are done with command line argument. So we are the main method part, main function part is actually, to be honest, it is done. Right now I want to discuss something which we had not looked on at that time. That is, if you remember, I had asked you to just move on with this. Just remember, I asked you to remember this. We need to pass system.in here while creating scanner class object and all. Okay, let's understand also that part. Okay, before that we need to discuss some few more concepts. So why is this system.in? Let's understand this. So guys, my question to you is, whenever I have a class, let's say I have a class test ob equal to new test. So this is the syntax, right, to create an object of a class. This is what we have been seeing it. This is how we create object of class test ob equal to new test, where ob is the class name and all, and this is how we create the object of class test. My question to you is, does this statement automatically or by itself, not automatically, let's say, does this statement by itself creates object, or it takes help of someone else? This is my question to you. Yes or no? Or just say by itself or takes help. This statement, whatever I have written here, this entire statement, we know to create object, we write this statement. This statement creates object. We have been seeing it, right? My question to you is, this statement by itself creates the object, or it takes help of someone else to create object? Just tell me, guys. Let me know over the comment. I'm waiting for your responses. Please do respond to it, and we will continue with our discussion like as per your response around it actually. Okay, does this statement has a capability to create object by its own, or it takes help of someone else? Atul says itself. Lathia says itself. It creates object by itself. Okay, I'm waiting for more responses actually. Please guys, please put up your response quickly, very quickly. Question is very simple. This statement we have been seeing, like we have been writing it to create object, but now we have a question here. Does this statement creates object itself by itself, or it takes help of someone? Sumit says it takes help also. Arun says by itself. So any more responses, guys, who can answer? I just need your response. Let's see. Anyway, we'll discuss it out. Does it takes help of class? Okay, we'll discuss that. Jane 2020 says don't know. Fine, let me tell you. See this, guys. It actually takes help of someone. It cannot create object by itself, and it takes help of something called, you might have heard this already, constructor. Okay, constructor, guys. Actually, whenever you write this statement, it actually calls implicitly or automatically, it calls constructor behind the scene, and constructor creates the object. Okay, right? So this statement is not the one who creates object. This statement, when you write, that invokes constructor creates object. Constructor is responsible for creation of object, guys. Please remember this, constructor. Also, one more thing, guys, there's a very thin line actually between we normally say what is ob is object. Actually not, ob is not actually the object. Ob is just the name of the object. It's just a reference. It is called as a reference variable. There is a thin line between reference variable and object. See guys, if I consider myself, if this is my body, right, this is object. I can have multiple names. Maybe my friends would be calling me with a different name. Maybe at home my parents would be calling me with a different name. For the same person, same body, there are different names, there are different reference variables. So this op is actually a reference variable, just a reference variable, just a name of the object. This statement new test, this actually invokes constructor, and which creates object. This part test ob, it has nothing to do with creation of the object. It is just you are assigning a name to it, that's it. Okay, ob is a variable of type test. It is called as reference variable because it is basically name of an object of class test. Okay, I hope this is pretty much clear. So in this statement, guys, this is actually this part new test. When you write this, it actually calls constructor implicitly or automatically, and constructor creates object. Okay, right? So constructor actually is the behind the scene. Constructor is actually creating the object. So now what is constructor? So we came across one more thing, that is constructor. Okay, what is constructor actually? Constructor is actually a method. First of all, it is a method. Okay, right? Second, its name is same as class name. Okay, right? And third, no return type. Okay, when I say not no return type, even void, you don't write even void, not even void, nothing. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick example, guys. If you have a class test, let's say, if you have a class test, then if you want to write constructor, if you want to mention a constructor in the test, then it looks like this. This is a constructor. This is a default constructor of class test. It is a method whose name is same as the class name, and it doesn't have any return type. No return type. Just write test and put a parenthesis. This is your constructor, guys. And to be very honest, or to be very specific, this is actually default constructor. There are in short, I can say there are two types of constructor. Okay, one is default constructor. Then there is parameterized constructor. I know some people would be saying copy constructor, but yep, I consider copy constructor as a parameterized constructor actually. I'm very sad to tell you guys I don't have much time to discuss this different types of constructor in detail, but I'll just give you but I would make you understand what exactly constructor does and what is the task of constructor. Also, guys, what I'll do is I would share in the today's community while sharing the material. I'll also give you a link to a previous class of mine over YouTube where actually I have taken a small project and I have used this constructor in detail. But that was a different batch, different class, so different set of syllabus. So they, I could discuss that in detail. But this is a different batch, different set of syllabus. They didn't learn this connection of Java to database, but you will learn. So that's a difference, right? So we need to cope up with this. But anyway, I'll share a link for that class, guys, where you can understand this usage of the different constructor by taking a project. I had taken a cab booking project, fare calculation of in a cab, maybe Ola, Uber, something. I had taken that project and I had explained the constructor uses. But I'll just briefly give you an idea of constructor here, and I'll in the material I'll give you a link to that class so that you can have a look and you will understand better the constructor part. Yeah. So now here, guys, so this is constructor. So this is constructor. Constructor is a method whose name is same as the class name, and it doesn't have any return type. So this constructor is responsible to create object. What are the different tasks actually? Tasks of constructor. Okay. Also, let me give you a look of parameter constructor. Maybe it would look like this. So it will take just an argument. That's it. It will have parameter. That is why it is known as parameterized constructor. This constructor doesn't have any parameter, so it is known as default constructor. That's it. Okay, right? So now, guys, what are the different tasks of a constructor? What are the functionalities? What actually a constructor does? First is it creates object. Without constructor, object cannot be created. Constructor is responsible for creation of object. Second is it initializes of object. Okay, it initializes the object, guys. Remember this: creates object and initialize object. What do you mean by initialize the object? See, I'll give you a short a quick example. I'll show you. Let's say I have a class test. I hope the previous program I had oh, I haven't commented, so that would create problem. So I'll just comment it out, guys. Class test, and I have a default constructor over here. Okay, right? And let's say I have a data member here, X. Got it? So now I have a main method here, main method. So yeah, see, guys, what I'm doing: system.out. Okay, let's say I'll just take a fare here, and I don't have constructor. Let's say fare system.out.print. So with this, guys, you will actually know two things. With this example, you will know two things. Okay, so fare. So let's say you are working on a cab booking system or something, and you want to print this fare actually. Okay, what is giving me error? Fine, let's see this. Oh, because it is non-static. I'll make it static. See, fare was non-static and main method is static, so it was showing me error. You cannot access fare. Pretty much fine. I have changed it to static so that it won't show me any error. So what I'll do now is I'll compile this code, guys. Okay, Java C day4.java. I hope that's no error. Yeah, no error. And then I'll run this Java test. See, I'm getting a default value. If you are able to see, guys, I'm getting a default value fair as 0. So the default initial value of a data member is actually 0 because it is an integer. So that's why I'm getting a 0 by default. But let's obviously, when you book a cab, guys, even if you don't go, if you cancel it, even if you cancel it or something, okay, or maybe you go 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer, doesn't matter. There is a minimum booking charge, or it is called as a reservation charge, right? So there would be a minimum reservation charge here actually. Yeah, for string it would be null. So there would be a minimum reservation charge. How to handle that? So here, guys, if you're just printing fare, you have not traveled, but there is a minimum reservation charge. When you are printing the fare, it should print that minimum base fare, the reservation fare, right? But it is showing me 0. Why? Because the the thing here is, guys, see what happened is, or maybe I should write in a proper oops manner. Okay, maybe I'll just call it as a cab class. Okay, then it is again becoming a mini project, guys, and this is ride cab. Here I have this main method. Okay, I will create object of the cab class, and through this object I'm calling this fare, right? Okay, now I think there's no need of making it static because I can call it through object. No need of making it static. Pretty much same thing I'm doing. I just created two classes as per the OOPS programming methodology, what we have discussed already, guys. Okay, I have a cab class which has this fare. Of course, I'm not taking the private and all because right now I don't want to take more time in that discussion. I just want to understand this constructor thing. So we have this data member int fare, and I've created object of class OB, and I'm printing here fare value. So which will give us 0 by default, which you already have seen, right? Let me recompile it and let me show you again what is the result we are getting here. Yeah, we are getting fare as 0 here, right? Okay, we are getting fare as 0. But there should be a minimum fare, as we have discussed already. Whenever you book a ride, there should be a minimum fare, the base fare or the reservation fare. So how do we store a initial, how do we assign an initial value to a data member? So guys, this is called as initialization. When you need to initialize, when you need to have a default initial value to a data member, that is called initialization of the variable data member or object, you can say. That means what I'm trying to say is, when you create object, while creating object, okay, when you book a ride, basically what happens, an object is created against your ID. While creating that object, this fare variable should be assigned with a default initial value. Maybe 25 rupees is the base fare, reservation charge. You have to pay it anyway. Even if you cancel the ride, you have to pay 25 rupees. So that should be assigned to this data member fare while creating the object. Who can do this? Only constructor is capable of doing that, guys. Only constructor can assign a default initial value to a data member while creation of the object. So what you do in this case is, you create a constructor. This is how we create a constructor. Same name, a method, no return type, and you assign, let's say, 25 rupees. Okay, right? So now if you don't assign any value to fare and you print it, just like in this case, you created the object and you're printing the fare value. You have not assigned any value, guys, here, right? Let me recompile this code, and now you will see that we will get 25 as the fare value because this is the minimum fare. Which who initialized it? Constructor actually initialized it. So constructor has two tasks. One is creation of the object, second is initializing the object. Oh, I think the class name is ride cab. See, I'm getting fare as 25. Yep, I'm getting fare as 25. I'm getting it. So it's pretty here now we didn't assign any value here, guys, but still I'm getting 25 because while creating object, this constructor created the object. Okay, this constructor created object, and while creating the object, it stored 20, it assigned this fare as 25. That's it. This is the whole task of constructor: creation of object, initialization of object. Okay, now if you assign a value where, let's say you have traveled some distance, and you have like traveled some distance, and now fare amount is 50. So obviously while you now print the fare value, obviously it would show you 50, not 25, because the fare value have been changed. You have assigned a new value to it. That was only the default initial value, guys. When you don't assign anything, it will take that default initial value. Java ride cab. If you hit enter, see now I'm getting 50. But the default value is 25, which is the main like minimum base fare or reservation charge actually. Okay, so this is the task. This is the whole point of using constructor. Constructor creates object, and so this statement, this doesn't create object. It invokes constructor. Okay, it invokes constructor, that to default constructor actually. Default constructor it invokes, and this is our default constructor. Okay, this is our default constructor. It creates and initializes object. That's it. That is the whole task of constructor. Is it clear, guys? Did you understand this or not? Please let me know. I have just one more thing related to this constructor which I want to cover. Okay, please let me know. Did you understand this? Did you understand this? Now you know how a constructor looks like. Now you know how to like when the constructor is invoked. Now you know what constructor does. It creates object and it initializes the data member. Is it clear, guys? Did you understand constructor or not? Yes. Jane says yes. What about others? Is it clear? Arun, Rohit, Sumed, and others who all are there? Hardik, okay. Yes, great. I hope it is clear to most of the people, and Vagisri also confirmed. Great. Thanks for the confirmation, guys. So just one more thing I want to discuss here, guys. Okay. Up to this point, guys, did we have this? Did we ever created a constructor? We just discussed today, right? In this class, we discussed about constructor. We didn't mention this constructor till this point of time. But this particular thing we have been writing from the day one. Since day one of class, we have been writing this statement, and we are using object. How come then object was created if we had not mentioned any constructor? So my point is, what I'm trying to say is, we didn't have this constructor before earlier, right? We didn't have this constructor. Even then, I was like able to run this program, and the object was created successfully, and we were getting 50 or something. Even now, if I run this program, it will work fine, right? Even if I don't have this, because we have been doing this, we didn't have this constructor and all. How it was possible? The reason, guys, okay, whenever user doesn't mention any constructor, please remember this. When user doesn't mention any constructor, then JVM places a default constructor automatically behind the scene. You cannot see it, but yes, a default constructor would be automatically placed in your class. Without constructor, object cannot be created, and for that reason, if you have not mentioned, JVM will place a default constructor. Default means in a blank constructor which doesn't nothing, just creates the object. Please remember this, guys. That's how it is possible. It was possible even without mentioning a constructor. It was like we were able to create object of the cab class. Okay, it will still invoke default constructor. If you have not mentioned the default constructor, then JVM will place a default constructor automatically. Okay, please remember this. When user doesn't mention any constructor, that doesn't mean you place a parameterized constructor, guys. You have a parameterized constructor, okay, who's like amount you are passing an amount to the constructor, and you are assigning that amount to the fare. You have placed a parameters constructor, and you are creating object this way. It will give error. It will definitely give error, because this statement, guys, will try to call default constructor, and in your class you have mentioned a parameters constructor but no default constructor. The moment you mention any constructor, JVM will not place any default constructor. If you don't mention any constructor, only then JVM will place a constructor, right? So keep that in mind. So now your question would be, then how to invoke this constructor? It is pretty much simple actually. Okay. So while creating object, you just pass some argument. Let's say 50. Okay. Instead of like doing it here, I want to create object, and I want to assign the fare value as 50. So I can use parameters constructor. This 50 would be passed to this parameter amount, and that amount value would be stored in this data member fare. That's what would be done basically. Let me show you the output, guys. I'll just recompile this code, day4.java. Okay, and then Java ride cab, right? Yeah, see this, we got 50, fare value is 50, we are getting it. So I use here uh, copy constructor, sorry, not copy constructor, parameters constructor we use here, right? While creating object, see this statement, while creating object, if you pass an argument here, it would invoke parameters constructor. And what you are doing in the parameter constructor, you are assigning that parameter to the data member fare. That's it. Remember this, guys. When you mention any constructor, JVM will not place any constructor for you. Okay. If you don't mention any constructor, then JVM will place a default constructor. That's why, guys, it is suggested that if you are mentioning a non-default constructor like parameters constructor anywhere, then it is suggested that you also have a default constructor. You also mention a default constructor, because at some point of time you might create an object without argument, and then it would give you error if you have not mentioned a default constructor. I hope everything I'm saying making sense to you guys. Please respond. Please respond to me. Is it clear? Parameters constructor, how to invoke a parameter constructor. What happens when you have parameter constructor and you don't have any default constructor? Okay. What happens you don't when you don't mention any constructor? Is it clear to all of you? Let me know, guys. Is it clear? Clear? Okay. So guys, I'm yet to like discuss something more, but I will not extend this session anymore. Let's keep it for next class, where I will discuss why we write scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. We'll discuss there. Okay. Also, I'll discuss why we write system.out.print or system.out.println. Why do we write this system.out.print? Okay. Why don't we write only print? Why don't we write only println? So I'll discuss also that. I guess I'll only take first 15 minutes of tomorrow's session for this discussion, and then we will carry on with our project, that is connecting Java with database. Please remember, guys, tomorrow we are meeting at 5:30 and not 7:30. I'll also like schedule the mail and WhatsApp reminder accordingly. I'll ask my team to send it over to you, and the timing will be 5:30. Tomorrow we are going to meet at 5:30 and not 7:30, guys. 5:30 p.m. we'll meet. We'll discuss why we write scanner is equal to new scanner, why we pass this system.in. We'll also discuss why do we write system.out.print, or this why don't we write only print, or why println. Also, we will do this project of Java connecting with the database. Okay, we'll write Java code, and that would be reflect the changes would be reflected in a database. That would be a mini project for you for this session. That would be very really helpful to you, where we'll also use the concept of exception handling. So that is what I have planned for the next session. So let's meet, guys, in the next session. I'm keeping it off for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. I enjoyed a lot, and I hope you understood everything whatever we have discussed today, guys. So as I said, I'll post this code material in the community group. Along with this, I'll also share you a link of previous class where I have discussed, where I have taken a mini project and I've discussed this constructor in detail, so that you'll have a clear idea on that. But I will suggest, before coming to tomorrow's class, please do watch that video. Okay, I'll soon post it in the community. Please maybe look after half an hour, or yeah, after half an hour you just check the community group. I'll be posting a code material and the assignment, which is the command and argument question, and also YouTube link for that detailed constructor discussion, guys. Okay, so that's it, guys, for today. So thank you for joining. We'll again meet tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. with some more concept, more interesting topics we'll discuss. So till then, guys, take care. Bye bye. Keep practicing. Keep rocking. Good night, guys.